Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Everyone is like that these days. So yes, welcome back. So as you can see with the title, when I talk about car dealerships, if they are honest with you about your car, whether it's the service they performed or the prices they're charging you. So, and also whether it's a good thing to take your car for service to these car dealerships, or you can just find someone that you trust or you believe in that can work on your car without stealing your parts, because most of these car dealers do steal parts. Have you ever encountered those kind of things where you find that your car, after taking it to these car dealers, your car is no longer performing the same way it was, or it feels different? Because if you own a car, you know how your car feels. It's like whenever you start driving a car, maybe for a couple of months, you start connecting to the car. It start becoming part of you. So you know when something is wrong with your car, the way it feels whenever you're driving it. So have you ever encountered this kind of problems with car dealers? So this video is going to look at that, and hopefully we're going to learn a few things. So, and this video is based on the experience that I've been through, or I've gone through, or I've encountered with car dealers or car dealerships with regard to car services. So the story I'm going to share with you is not based on any research or tips or whatever. It's things that I've gone through or experienced. I'm going to share my story. So I drive a Polo Vivo 2012, bought it in 2012 and I've never skipped service with that car. I've always made sure that it goes to service, from when it was 15,000 kilometers. Oh my gosh, 15,000 rand. That car is too expensive. But these days, I think the money is not that much, Yeah, it's not 15,000 rand, guys. It's a lot of money. Believe me, a Polo Vivo is very expensive. So don't mind my background. As you can see, I'm coming from my room. This I'll be doing videos for my room. I hope I'm not making noise with me banging it on the table, because in front of me is the table that I've set up my little studio in my room. So don't mind the bedding at the back or the bed, because it could be very bad, because things are very bad depending on how bad it looks. So yeah, guys, so don't crucify me because of the colors I chose the the chair colors. Yeah, good rave. So yeah, guys, so the story is, it has nothing to do with research. It's everything that I've experienced. So it's a big story. So after taking my car to service to these car dealerships, I've discovered that after driving it for 9 years, there's a part that these car dealerships don't remove, or they don't change as they're supposed to. Because whenever you take your car to service, the car dealerships, guys, it's lung shakarata. Car dealerships usually give you your invoice or the quotation, so to sort of, it's a worksheet or something where they show you what it did to your car, whether it's oil change, whether it's removing plugs, whether it's petrol filter, air filter, all those things. You guys know. Some plugs, all those things. You guys know them. I'm not an expert with cars, so please forgive me if I'm not getting these parts right. Okay? So please do forgive me. So I don't know if you've come across a situation where you realize that your car, after taking it to a service or a dealer, it comes back feeling different, or there's a part that is missing. It happens. Or you realize that your car it has some sounds or noise, or it makes noise. You don't understand why. Have you ever experienced those kind of things? And what was the cause? What did you do about it? So my story is like this. So let me show you what kind of car I drive and which part was never changed. Allegedly was never changed. And if it is true that they never changed that part, because I just discovered that it is alleged. Someone told me that your car has been going to service for so many years, 9 years, been driving the car, And I've taken it to car dealerships different around here to see that if, like I said, if I can sell it, how much can I get? And I've been praised for making sure that the car is still in good condition, and then they're willing to pay a lot of money for that car, even though it's a very old car. So this is the car that I drive. Watch it. This is the car I drive. It's a Polo Vivo Zest, bought in 2012. Been driving for 9 years, still in good conditions. And car dealers around here, Johannesburg, in Polokwane, of course, are willing to pay a good price for this car because it's still in good condition. I've taken care of it very well. I know I'm stingy with cars. I don't normally let other people drive my car. I think that's a secret. Do you guys know what part is this? What is this part in the car? Those who have cars, because I'm not the car expert, Mina. But do you know what is this? It's a part that normally will be replaced if you take it to the service. They have to replace it with a new one at a service. If you take it, I don't know how many kilos depending. But guys, for 9 years I've been driving the car. Someone who works for himself and is helping people service cars around Johannesburg assisted me with the car, and then there was a problem because I took it to these dealers for 9 years, like I said. But he discovered that this part was never changed or replaced with a new one since it was brought to me when I took it out from the garage in the West Rand. I won't mention the name of the garage, but I took it out there, bought it, and it's paid up. I don't owe anybody, which is good. But this car, this part has never been replaced, regardless or in spite of the fact that I have been paying for service, taking the car to service so that they can replace this part whenever it was necessary. So this part is called a petrol filter. Everybody, petrol filter. You know those kids in high school that always say, whenever the principal or the teacher ask a question, they're the first one, me, I know, petrol filter. I was one of those kids in school. Whenever the teacher asked a question, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't raise my hands. Usually I would just let all those clever kids talk. So that's a bit of a market. But let's get back to the point. So let's get back to me right now. I've showed you the part. It's a petrol filter. So like I said, it's never been replaced, according to the guy who was helping me, because I was crying to say, look, this car I'm taking to service and they're charging me this much, and how much can you do it for me? And then he did service for me for a quite reasonable price. I'm not saying that you should do this because you really need to find someone you trust, someone that's good with cars, someone really or you've researched about, that has experience with servicing cars. So you don't just take your car to anybody because they can just mess up your car. So this guy checked my car, and then because I was telling him that since I took it to a service at the dealer in April or February, yes, it came back with this sign. You see, it came back a sign. When you start your car, it gives you different kind of signs: oil, whatever, petrol, water, and then when you start it and start running, all those indicators, they go off. But that one will not go off. It's called it will write EPC. I don't know what it's called. EPC, PCE. No, EPC. Yes, EPC. Yes, and it's been like that since I got it from the dealer. That was the last service I did in 2021 in April. And then I'm like, guy, can you help me with this car? Because this sign, it doesn't go off. I don't know why. So he checked the car. He's like, oh, okay, your car's still in good condition, man. You've been taking care of it. I'm like, thank you. And he's like, whoa, let's drive the car. And then we drove the car. The car will go to gear 1. Whenever I take it to gear 2 or gear 3 in a short space of time, instead of accelerating, the car will slow down. and I didn't know why. That's why I took it to this guy. So he drove it, and it did exactly as I was explaining to him. Thank God, because most of the time when you have a problem with your car and you take it to someone else to sort of have a look at it, the car normally behaves well. And that thing that it does whenever you're driving, it doesn't happen. And it's like, but this car is okay. But in my case, thank God, the car did exactly as I was explaining to him. So he actually experienced exactly what I was experiencing with the car. So he's like, no man, let's park the car. So he's like, I think your air filter hasn't been changed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I've been taking this car to service forever. 9 years. He's like, let's check. So he opened, went underneath the car. He could not even remove the petrol filter. Sorry, it's a petrol filter I'm talking about. Because it was there. It was stuck there. It was rusty there since I bought the car. Never been replaced like it's supposed to happen with car service. Whenever you take it to these dealers, never been changed. Even though I paid for it in different services previously, but it was never changed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is like, your car, since you bought it, you took it out of the garage, the people that were servicing your car did not replace the petrol filter. That's why your car is cutting, because the petrol filter is old. So now the petrol cannot pass through to help the car, move as it's supposed to be. So the petrol will cut. Mandla. Can you imagine? And it's like, it's very dangerous for you to have this kind of problem, because you can get stuck in the middle of nowhere at night because you think your car has been serviced. You are confident. You drive your car with confidence. Until your car hasn't been serviced properly. So it happened to me that my petrol filter never been changed. And guess what? It's like, go and buy a petrol filter and let's see that sign you were talking about, if it's still going to be there. Put the petrol filter. Well, I went to buy it and put it in, and the petrol filter, and then that sign was gone. We tested the car, we drove it around in whatever speed. The car behaved like it's supposed to. No longer misbehaving, no longer cutting petrol, no longer slowing down when you change gears. The car was good, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, this is very dangerous. If your petrol filter is not changed and it blocks, it can actually explode. Your car can burn. That's what the guy said to me. It is very dangerous. It's like, so many people take their cars to these dealers, and then they believe that the service or the car service is done properly, and half the time, that's what he said to me, the service is not done. Because this guy is like, I used to work at these car dealerships. I know how they behave. They will tell you that they did filter, petrol filter, some plug, remove plugs, and all these things. They charge you 5,000 for the service, only to find that some of these things were never removed or replaced with the new ones like they're supposed to, and you pay. So the question is, have you been paying for a service that was never done to your car? That's the question. Because with me, I can tell you, because let's go back to the picture. I want you to pay attention to the dates. So I want you guys to pay attention to the dates, right? Look here. It says 29/05/12. So it's either this part was installed on the 29th of May 2012. I'm not sure. That's what it says. 13/25. That's when the part was installed in a car. You can even see the part. It's old. It looks worn out. It looks worn out because the guy was like, if this part had been replaced properly, frequently, like it was supposed to, this part is not supposed to look like this. It looks like it fell from the ground or from the sky. It's cracked here and there. You can see the damage that this part has. It's tired. This part is old. Since I bought the car, this part was never replaced. But I've been paying for it. So the question from me is, you guys, tell me, have you been paying for these kind of things and it's never done properly? Because with me, it looks like I have bought a car with a petrol filter, but then when taking it to these car service dealers, they never replace this part with the new one. So me to you now, how many people have died on the road and it's registered as car accidents? And half the time in South Africa, people die on the road and then nobody does the proper, examination in terms of what caused the accident. When there's a plane crash, there's a team that goes and investigate, what caused the accident, what part was wrong. They check the history of the car in terms of services and everything, and they can tell you what happened with the aircraft if it just went down without any warning or something like that. But with cars, people just die and it's car accident. Probably they say he lost control or they lost control and they perished. Imagine how many people we lost on our roads, South Africa, but because of this kind of negligence, where you take your car for a service, believing that your car is going to be serviced properly and is not done. Question, probably you have an answer, but that's why I want to do these kind of videos these days. And instead of me coming here and laugh and all these things, I want to, do this kind of videos. Hopefully you will love this kind of videos. If you like these kind of videos, do tell me, guys. Let's debate down below. Comment, tell me. And let me say, I believe that the car dealers, the money that they're charging is too exorbitant. I don't think it qualifies the kind of work they do, because they will charge you like 5,000 rand just for them to remove plugs. And then they'll write there, they remove plugs, and then they say 5,000 rand just to do that. And it's actually something you can do yourself if you have the equipment, or if you know what you're doing, or you can take it to someone that really know what they're doing. Is taking your car to these car dealerships a good thing or not? It might be good because you drive your car with confidence. Yes, it was taken to a reputable car dealer. But are they honest? I don't think they're honest. Are they too expensive? I think they're too expensive, because sometimes the service they do is just to remove plugs, like I said, oil change, just to change oil. They charge you. They don't play. So are these guys putting our lives at risk? I think they are, most of them, because like I said, that EPC sign just went off like that. The car is not showing anything anymore. I drive the car nice now since I've changed the petrol filter, which was never replaced since I bought the car for 9 years. Imagine. But I had been paying for car service for them to replace the petrol filter, air filter, what filter. They write it there and tell me that this is what they did, this is what they did, and they never do it. And I've heard that apparently the people that work at these garages get instructions from the bosses to not replace this kind of parts like a petrol filter. But then it puts people's lives in danger. Why are they not replacing these parts and then they're charging you? I will understand that if they were not replacing the part and then they never write it there. But then they'll write it there and then they say they replaced it and they never did. And even if they didn't write it, but is it fair for them to not replace the part when they're supposed to? Because it puts our lives in danger, does it not? You guys can tell me. So, okay guys, let me go because I can talk until tomorrow, because I'm getting too emotional now. But yeah guys, I'm really serious about this one. It's not even a fake story, it happened to me. So that's what I had, guys. Maybe you can share your story as well. What have you gone through with your car? What did you do about it? Did you go and confront them? I did not. I just took it to a guy down the road at the corner, and then he did my car, and then he didn't steal my parts like these car dealers do, and then he did an honest job. these car dealers, I don't think they do an honest job, unfortunately. So now, because I'm having a new car, there's a car that I'm driving now, it's a Toyota. I'm actually scared that should I take my car to them again, to these car dealers? Is it a good thing to take this car to them for service? Are they not gonna steal my parts and then charge me for things that they didn't do? So sometimes these days when you buy a car and it's brand new, they say this car has a benefit of coming to service for the next 50 Ks, you know. And then we're like, yeah, I got free service. I got free service. Kanti, you just park it there. They're like, okay, Mr. Gingirikani, please come fetch your car at 12 noon or 2 p.m. It will be done. And they just park it there. When you come, they just do a car wash and then they give it to you. And for that, they did nothing. They did nothing because probably depending on how you drive, you've driven the car well and the parts are little worn out, but then not too bad. And they don't change anything. And they never tell you, but they're right there in your invoice to say, oh, we did this, and they're lying to you. Guys, let me go. You can subscribe. You can tell me what you think about the video. Even though it's a bit long, apologies. It was because it was a personal story. There's nothing to do with what I've researched or what is in the news. It's just me, what I've encountered. Probably you've gone through the same. You can share your story down below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Legere. I'm Tesla. Salut. Mengatiti Meli.